Kingdom.
Trap House Mob. Back. To the top, I'ma make it. Niggas just can't take it. To the top, I'ma make 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 it. Niggas just can't take it. Yeah.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Cypher and Rage. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at NetsKingdom1 and articles netskingdom.net, and all our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom. So, the scouting report on Kon Knueppel. The day is finally here. Nets Twitter's favorite. I just saw the mock draft on Twitter today that Kon was going to be mocked at 8 towards us. We're gonna get into that later, but I really want to get into the weeds and why is Kon so polarizing on Nets Twitter, or just Twitter in general? Because a lot of people.
Who has him mocked to us?
I think it's Jonathan
ESPN,
Givney,
right?
ESPN, Jonathan Givney.
Ah, geez.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of. I've seen Kon mocked to like 5. I've seen Kon mocked at 6, 7, 8. Like he's all over the place.
I've seen some guys mock him at 3.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it because it's really full of. But I'm gonna start with the combine. For the combine, Kon was actually measured at 6'5", barefoot, 219, with a 6'6" and a quarter wingspan and 8'5" and a half standing reach. He didn't participate in the athletic drills. Credit to him because he said he had a sprained ankle 3 weeks ago, but I think it's more of a organized move from the agency, because we all know Kon's not athletic, so that was not going to help him. Doing the athletic test at the combine is probably not going to help his draft stock. So just kind of avoiding that and saying, okay, let me do my pro day a little bit before, a little bit after the combine week, show my catch and shoot, which he did, and he looked great shooting the ball. I think he just avoided that athletic testing because it's a smart, calculated move. Because it's like, if you do power, we just saw Derek Queen had a terrible, athletic testing in a combine, and his stock might be dropping. That's another video. But yeah. So with Kon at the combine, the pro day looked great. Catch and shoot, he showed off everything, and it looked really smooth. The mechanics, again, flawless. Now we know his strengths. This is where it gets kind of polarizing, because people think Kon is just a catch and shoot guy, but if you really dive into the film, he does have some playmaking abilities. He does have, I guess we could say, secondary creation abilities. He's not really a primary pick and roll ball handler, but we saw the game where Cooper went down with that ankle injury, and Kon was able to play kind of point guard for a few spot minutes. He did have some nice playmaking to calm my Malawatch as a lob threat, and he did, have some type of, I guess you say, creation, but it wasn't like, he doesn't really have a bag, in my opinion. But let me read through his strengths real quick by shout out to ESPN. It says his combination catch and shoot player. I'm sorry, let me read my notes. Elite shooting. Kon Knueppel boasts a smooth, quick release with exceptional efficiency, shooting 40% from 3 and 91% from the foul line. High basketball IQ. He reads defenses especially well, particularly when coming off screens or in set plays. And then it has him as a versatile scorer. Kon Knueppel excels in scoring from beyond the arc, mid-range, and at the rim with polished mechanics. His ability to finish off 2 feet provides added control and balance in the paint. So my first question to you guys, and then I'll tell Site again the stats. Why do you think, where do you see Kon in the NBA? Like, I know people say that he has a higher, like, his upside is very limited, but a lot of people think that his upside is higher on Twitter and online. Why do you think people think that his upside is higher than the perceived NBA draft community?
Well, okay, combination of a couple things.
Yeah.
So, okay, thing one, Duke won a lot. Like, Duke won a lot of games, and he was a big part as to why they won those games.
Yeah.
He was arguably their second to third best player on that team. So it's hard to really discredit a guy that's winning that much and believe that has a role player ceiling. So I understand that part.
Mhm.
The problem is at Duke. Look, when you're playing next to Cooper Flagg and Kon Knueppel, Cooper Flagg and Kama Maluak,
Yeah,
like it is so much easier for him.
right.
Yeah, and look, he played well. Like he was amazing. Look, averaged 14.4 points, 4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 48% from the field, 41% from three,
Right.
91% from the free throw line. Led the ACC conference in free throw percentage. So he's a good player. Like don't get it wrong. The problem is he has certain aspects of his game, specifically his shot creation, his on-ball defense, and just his size and physicality and
Mhm.
capability. Like those things are very limiting. And in the NBA, where those things matter a lot, I could see Khan hitting a wall,
Yeah,
and the wall might be him being like a really high caliber role player.
yeah. Yeah, because in my opinion, I think Khan is he's just a safe pick. Like he's just his you see it in around the NBA. There's so many guys, there's so many like 3-point specialist movement shooters. At his worst, Khan will be a great 3-point specialist, movement shooter. The Duncan Robinsons, the Joe Hare, who else? JJ Redick, the Corey Kisperts, those type of guys that are just great catch and shoot movement shooters. Because every team needs one. Every team needs a 3-point guy. Every team needs one. It's one of those things in the NBA that's just like a current theme. Everybody has that 3-point guy, a specialist. Because you need in this NBA, the modern NBA, you need floor spacing. And with Khan, I'm looking at the metrics, and the catch and shoot is great. 42% catch and shoot, total 3-point, 40%. But we get into the weeds of his shooting. Um, the off the dribble 3-point percentage is 14%. Pick and roll ball handling, 13.3%. It's 2 for 25. And then, yeah, those are the two things that stand out. Everything else is good. Free throw, off the screen. And then we get into we'll talk about him getting to the rim. But the pick and roll ball handling and the off the dribble 3-point shooting for Khan, it's like that is where he gets
Abysmally
uncomfortable.
bad.
Yes, that is where he gets uncomfortable.
It's actually comically bad because
Uh-huh.
he's so elite as a catch and shoot guy, a movement shooter off the screens. But
Yeah,
whenever he has to create his own shot off the dribble, like he was 30% isolation too. So
mhm.
he is just a bad on ball creator. Which that isn't a problem if you're picking the guy under the expectations of him being a role player.
Yes.
But for us picking him at 8 when we're already talent starved, it's just so risky.
Go ahead, Rach, if you want to get in here.
Yeah, no, I kind of feel the same way. I think ultimately with Khan, like you kind of have that aspect of like, yeah, that insanely safe floor. Like you're always
Mm.
going to need a team with a movement shooter, just a guy who's gonna get you threes. Like
Yeah,
I don't think if you're us, like you said, we're not gonna want to pick a guy with the vision of them being a role player. It just doesn't make sense, and I think it's gonna make sense for more of like a team that's like like with the Lakers picking like a Dalton Connect, like just
yeah,
a connector piece that is going to be able to just get you like the threes and like just that offensive aspect, like
yeah,
and then you get into like obviously like the negatives of his game, like if you're going into the paint with him, it's like obviously like nothing athletic. He's just like what I'm saying, he just has a solid feel for the game where he's able to get guys in their spots at times. Like
yeah,
nothing, he's not quick at all, but his spot up shooting is just phenomenal, and he's at least got it, like another, like Seif said, second best player and just a solid feel for the game. Ultimately, it's just like, with that movement shooting being, or with that movement shooting like not being phenomenal and just like being kind of like ultimately like, a great spot up guy. It's just like, it's not going to be phenomenal in terms of wanting to get a guy who has a high upside. Like I think the highest upside for the guy is Boyan. Like you're getting a Boyan with a better defense. That's his best.
yeah. I want to get into
I
more.
I don't know if he's a better defender because I
Yeah,
think his defense.
we're gonna get into that too. I just want to
Yeah,
hold that thought real quick. I want to stick with the scoring part of Khan because we're talking about the scoring part. When Khan attacks a closeout, and this is very important in the NBA because you're a shooter, right? Everybody knows you're a shooter, so they're gonna be racing to close out and run you off that 3-point line. Those are the decisions he's gonna have to make when he's at the NBA level. And when I watched him on film attack a closeout, it was mostly just like straight line drives and limited downhill things. It was he puts the ball on the floor, but he finishes off 2 feet. And a lot of people in the NBA don't do that anymore. It works in NCAA college because people pack the paint and, guys are not as athletic. But when you go to the next level, when you 2 feet finish, that is not good in the NBA. A lot of the NBA is more 1 foot because of the pace and space. We got guys with 8-foot wingspan. You got Wembys and Chets. Guys are going to recover because all that time you're taking that 2-foot jump, you're giving the defense time to recover. That's why that 1 foot is used in the NBA. With you see the pivots like Shea and Jokic and all these guys are pivoting because it's a faster, release for guys to block your shot. So Kon really, I was watching an interview earlier today, and Kon was talking. And this is the thing about Kon. He's a very, very smart guy. Like, he's aware of all his weaknesses. Like, you watch the interview. Shout out to Kevin O'Connor. He names all his weaknesses. He tells you exactly what he's wrong at, everything he's bad at, and he's like, I'm working at it. But yeah, like he said it himself, he's gonna have to figure out, like, when he attacks that closeout, and be more of a 1 foot kind of finish guy instead of that 2 foot. Because
I thought in college, and you addressed this, I thought he was fine on the straight line drives because of his 3-point gravity.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too, and this is why the combine matters. Kon was listed at 6'7", 6'5" without shoes, and he's got a 6'6.5" wingspan.
Very small wingspan. Very small.
Jeez.
So realistically, he is like 6'6" with shoes. Still a bad wingspan. It's like, I don't know. The finishing is going to be interesting to see how that translates because, again, he was really good at using his 3-point gravity and attacking off the catch.
Yeah.
And either being able to kick it out to shooters off the catch or finishing at the rim himself. I do think he does have enough physical bulk at 215 pounds to be able to fight through contact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that aspect of his game will be fine. It does.
That's one of my concerns. Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's one of my concerns because
he's got Desmond Bain arm, bro.
Yeah, at college level, it's sufficient for that. But at the next level, with these NBA athletes, 7'2", 7, guys are athletic freaks. He's gonna get his shot punched, unless he, what I'm saying. So it's like,
and the lack of athleticism does make me nervous regarding his on-rim finishing.
It's gonna be harder for him to use that craftiness around the rim when it's bigger athletes, taller guys. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna have to, like I said, this is where you're gonna develop. We're gonna get into coaching gear. You got to develop that part of your game, your mid-range game, because I feel like that mid-range is kind of still lacking in. But he's got to develop that part. Now I want to stick with offense before we get to defense. So the playmaking ability, I think, is very, I wouldn't say it's a strength of Kon's game, but it's like he has sufficient playmaking. Like, he could pick and roll, make simple reads, and roll.
He's a good connector.
Yeah, a good connective playmaker. Like, most of his assists are going to be swing to the corner or ball movement to the right guy. Or when he's in a pick and roll, he'll make, like, on the wing, he can make a read like a lob threat because him and Kaman had that great connectivity.
Yes.
And he was able to throw a lot of lob threats. So he has that passing. He's not going to do nothing crazy like thread the needle or court, 5 half-court passes. He's not going to do none of that. He's just
he might have some utility as like a secondary ball handler.
Yes,
similar to like Cam Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be possessions in the game where you could, let's say, the star or whoever, like Anthony Edwards, I'm just saying an example, is out, and he can run a little bit of that pick and roll on the side, playmake from a little bit. It's not like full on. You don't want Kon to be your full primary ball handler. You want him to be like a tertiary or secondary primary ball handler. That's where you want Kon to be, where it will be sufficient for him at the NBA level, because that playmaking, it's like I said, it's people underrated, I think, because it's, they don't expect him to pass. They just think he's a catch and shoot guy, but Kon has a little bit more. That's why my comparison to him is more of Joe Ingles kind of type, because I've seen Joe Ingles, great shooter, can attack a closeout and then crafty around the rim, and then he can make simple passes on the reads, lobs, dump downs, stuff like that. So we at least have an above average type of playmaking level with Kon, and like you said, like it's gonna matter. Like, ultimately, if he's getting attacked on a closeout, he's got to be able to, like you said, he's got to be able to make a move off of it. It can't just be like, what I'm saying, like just instantly dishing it off. Like, like he's got to, obviously it's going to be nice to be able to make a read kind of off of a closeout, but like,
you're going to be able to want him to make something out of it. And
Yeah.
ultimately, that's just the biggest part with his offense is making something out of it once he's not taking a spot up shot. It's like, yeah, that's just what he's going to do after that.
Exactly. Now,
I think he would. I think he would flourish in Jordy's system, because if you're an off-ball movement shooter that could attack off the catch a little bit, like you'll be great, and he could shoot. So I think.
Oh yeah. Kon's a perfect fit for every team. Like if you really, that's why I said he's a safe pick because he can fit everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you're a Spurs, like it makes so much sense.
Yeah. I want to get into the last part of his defense, and then we'll get into the draft where he's going to be selected. So defensively, right? You look at Kon's blocks and steals. It was 0.2 blocks. It says 1.0 steals. His block percentage was 0.6 block percentage. Steal percentage says 2.0. For Kon, I think defensively, he's going to be to me, he is going to be a liability. Like he will be, I will say this, where Kon can succeed, I'll give the one positive of his defense. Where he can succeed is because of his frame and he's bulky. So I would say in post-ups, he'll be great because of his frame. Like bigger guys, he'll be great, like just being a shield to guys backing down, like bigger forwards backing him down. And he can survive in the post. That's probably like the only good part of defense that I'll give Kon. On the perimeter, I just see he's going to get coned. Like people will try to ISO pick on him and ISO switch for him and mismatch hunt him because he might be that guy they pick on defense right now. That's what I'm saying right now. It is,
No, AJ, I agree completely. I'll say this as a positive too. Like he knows how to not be like a total liability. Like he knows how to hide like in the weak side corner, knows how to get into defensive positioning, to get into some passing lanes. Like he knows how he knew his weakness was on ball defense, and he made sure to not get like caught and beaten. And Duke made sure to hide him. Because look, again, like his defensive stats, according to defensive box plus minus, he was the 8th best defender in the ACC conference. His defensive box plus minus is better than Kama Malawak's, which, by the way, that makes no sense. Kaman is a much better defender. And this goes back to why he's like overrated in some circles. His advanced stats look amazing. He had the second highest box plus minus next to Cooper Flagg in the whole conference.
Yeah.
And now the problem with that is 5 Duke players had a top 10 box plus minus.
Exactly. So, you got to factor around this because his team is exceptional defensively. One of the best defensive teams in college basketball. So it's like it's easy for him to hide on that type of team. You know what I'm saying?
His defense gets overrated a lot, but he is not a good defender. Like as you said, on ball defense, he gets blown by in the perimeter a lot. And we didn't notice it as much because you have Cooper Flagg and you have Colin Malawak, these defensive juggernauts, like making sure to clean up his mistakes. The on-ball defense isn't that good. He doesn't have any value as a rim protector because, 6'6" wingspan. He's got those T-Rex arms, those Desmond Bane arms.
Desmond Bane.
Yeah, and the foot speed isn't that good. I don't know. Like he has some intelligence on the defensive side of the ball. Like he knows how to make sure he doesn't get caught, and he does it. He does try. Like he has a lot of hustle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll give him that. He has the hustle, and he's not going to give up. Like he's a dog. Don't get me wrong. He's not going to give up. Yeah. He's going to try at least and make an effort, but he knows he's lacking athletically. He knows he's going to get picked on, and he knows that. But it's like he has to just be a smart defensive guy and this is where whoever drafts him, the coach has to put a good scheme around Kon and make sure you hide him and put him in. Like if he goes to a good defensive team, we probably won't see him be that bad at defense.
Yeah.
But if he goes to a poor defensive team, that's where everything's exposed, like us.
It's going to be way more exposed. He just makes more sense for a team that, like you said, like or that we talked about, like that's just more kind of like established. Like, and he could make sense with us, but you're not going to want a guy with like ultimate, like like the not the greatest ceiling in the world. Like it's just like he just has he has the safest floor, and any team really that wants to just get a guy that's going to help contribute, Kon's going to be perfect. Like any team that's just like in the playoffs, like any team that's or either like floating towards there or like trying to make the play in, like it makes a lot of sense. Like a team where you already have a guard or you already have a big, just kind of a good connector piece.
Yeah. Now the last question is for you guys. I'll have is Kon in the draft again. He's been mocked at least 5 through 10 at least. That's what I've seen. all different interchanging. I'll start off with my think where he's gonna go. I personally think Khan was gonna go to the Utah Jazz at 5, and I'll explain why. I just think they've been picking point guards consistently over the past few years. I know they just picked Taylor Hendricks, but they need more wing depth, and they kind of need a wing, you know. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, you're picking Utah because it's prototypical white shooter." No, it's not just that. It's because this team, I think, actually need wing depth, and they need a shooting kind of wing, like, well, I guess you could say call Khan a wing right now, right? A wing that could shoot, you know, dribble pass type. You know, they need that type of dynamic, and I think Khan would be perfect for that team. Instead of picking, I think I saw Jeremiah Fears on that list, but I'm like, I think Khan's a better fit because you have that wing, Isaiah Collier, Keontae George, Colin Sexton. You know, you have those guys to set up Khan in that, you know.
I don't know. I think they
But
should
I'll
have
ask you
traded
guys,
Ross.
where you guys think he's gonna go? Yeah, whoever goes.
I mean, with Con, I have no, I don't know what these guys value.
Mhm.
Like I could see him, I could see Philadelphia saying we need a win now player. I could see them taking Con.
Mhm.
Yeah, or I could see him falling all the way to like the Spurs to their later lottery pick. I believe 13th. Like I don't know where this guy's gonna go because again, high floor but low ceiling in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'll go Rich.
I'm kind of on the end of like him going to like Houston at 10.
Okay.
I think I
That's
don't
fair.
think I don't think it if you're like it makes a lot of sense if you are Utah, but I think if you're Philly or you're Utah, you're gonna want to get a guy that has a little bit more of high upside. And I think ultimately with like Houston or San Antonio at 13, it just makes too much sense for both of those teams. And like San Antonio will already at least have another pick, if
Yeah.
as long as they do pick. You know what I mean? Like Khan just makes so much sense on a team that like already kind of has the pieces there and like trying to be on a team that's like trying to be competitive.
Yeah.
Like
Houston could definitely use that.
I think ultimately if you can get a good defense, like if you can get Khan with solid defense, like you already have your replacement for Dylan Brooks.
Oh yeah, like I said, Khan would look great on the Rockets because they desperately need that spacing, shooting, 3-point specialist. You know, name your teams that need a 3-point shooter. Everybody needs like a specialist. So Khan, like that's why I said I'll say this and then I'll end the video. Like, think about it like this. All right, you walk into a dealership. There's the Lamborghini that's gonna cost you $500K. There's the Audi R8 that's going to cost you $200K. And then in that corner, there's that Honda Accord 2025, brand spanking new, reliable, safe. You don't got to spend too much bread. You don't got to, pay that $1,000 oil change.
Not
It's
too
cheap,
flashy.
not too flashy. That's Con, right? Con is just a safe, reliable prototype, a safe archetype in the draft. Like, not flashy. He's not the number one. He's not going to bring you star upside. He's just safe. And that's not bad. That's
you have essentially the
bad.
most offensive ready player in this draft.
Yeah, he's just safe. The safest pick ever. Let us know in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom. Let us know in the comments how you guys feel about Khan. Does he have that star upside? Do you guys think he has that upside? Or do you guys think he's just safe? What do you think the Nets should do at 8? Should they take Khan? Let us know in the comments where you think he's going to go in the draft. And we'll be back with more scouting reports. Appreciate you guys so much. We'll be back.